Okay, here we are again. We're gonna get right into it. So I saw a post on social media that said men do not want to protect or provide for women anymore. I'm about to debunk this shit real quick. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go now. Okay, so I'm making coffee. That's why I walked away. But anyway, um, I'll tell you a story real quick here. So this story, what happened was I was at work, okay, and it was me and a couple other people were working, and the one girl that was working there was in front of my coworker, and she was walking in front of him and she slipped, right? Like there was some oil on the floor or something, so she slipped, and he caught her. He just kind of went like this and put his arm like behind her back, and he like caught her. He like supported her so she wouldn't fall on her ass. And 4 days, even remotely after it happened, she was talking about how she felt extremely uncomfortable that he did that. You see what I'm saying? Something as simple as that. Okay? Another person, a woman walked out into traffic in a major city in America, and somebody behind her, it was a man, grabbed her shoulders and pulled her off the street, right? He grabbed her shoulders and pulled her off the street. She sued him. He went to court for that. You see what I'm getting at? Like, the things that you're supposed to do to protect women especially, a lot of shit is just like, hey, don't fucking touch me. Don't touch me. You fucking cretin. Don't touch me. I didn't consent to be touched. Like, a lot of the time, like I said, when I am with my friends that are girls, I think it is my responsibility to have to defend them if something happens. Because, you know, people will say like, oh, well, they're strong. They work out. They go rock climbing and stuff. And I go, yeah. But the average untrained man is several times stronger than even a trained woman, right? We just are, okay? Like, that's something that people don't understand. And people try to say, oh, well, men and women are the same. No, they're not, okay? Like, are we equal does not mean the same. Men and women have equal rights, apparently, just kidding. But we're not the same, okay? Like, men and women just operate differently, as well as have different strengths and weaknesses. A man's bone density is going to always be higher than a woman's bone density. It just genetically is. Unless they have a bone deficiency, their bone strength is going to be higher than any woman. So, prime example on all that. That's why I keep telling people, I'm like, dude, if I'll have to do that later, sorry. If you're out and about, your best bet is just to keep to your fucking self, bro. I'm gonna be so for real. That's your best bet. Because look, men are hardwired to protect and provide for women. We literally are biologically hardwired to do it. Men are biologically hardwired to protect in general, let alone if it's their friend, their wife, their spouse, their girlfriend. Brother, sister, mom, dad, best friend. We are inherently taught and just in our bones, it's in our fucking bones, it's in our genome to protect people. It just is. So this is why it's funny that these women say, oh, well, men don't want to protect and provide anymore. Men don't want to protect and provide for you. That's the difference here. Because I don't ever say, oh, well, women don't want to do this, women don't want to do that. Because that just shows you that women don't want to do this for me. Right? Like, I'm a pretty easygoing guy. Let's keep it real. I'm a guy who just, I don't ask for a whole lot, and I don't expect a whole lot. Which is what's so funny about the whole dating thing, is that even when you don't ask for a whole lot and you don't expect a whole lot from other people, you're not getting a whole lot anyway. Because we're just in weird times, bro. You're just in weird times for the dating dynamics. Because nobody wants to talk about this, and this is why, like, my father keeps telling me, he's like, you worry too much about this shit. And I go, Dad, I'm not worried about it. You know what I'm worried about doing? I'm worried about watching the rest of Raiders of the Lost Ark. I started it a few days ago. I need to finish watching it. I love that movie. But anyway, he was like, you worry too much about this and that. And I said, Dad, I'm not worried about it because, look, am I going to have a long-term spouse one day? Yes. I think most people on Earth will. If you're looking for it, you'll have it. But do I think that it's going to happen next year or even the year after that? No. I don't think it will. So, that's where your problems start happening, though. Because the whole ordeal is so confusing. Because I'm making eggs right now in the middle of cooking. I pretty much don't make a video unless I'm cooking breakfast. If you haven't noticed by now. But, there was, my one friend told me, basically my best friend told me, she said that she likes women, she is technically bi, but she likes men who are a little gay, is the word she used to describe it. And I said, you like men who are a little gay? And she said, yeah. And I said, well, I'm sorry, but I don't think they're going to like you because they're gay. And she was like, no, that's not what I mean. And I was like, all right, dude. I said, well, fine, what are you talking about? She said, I like men who are able to be she said, I like men who are able to be in their emotions. And they're they understand their emotions and stuff. And I said, men don't have time for that shit. We really don't, dude. Like, me, when I say, being a man, it's pretty fucking simple. I'm gonna be totally honest with you. If you're not a man and you're watching this video, you're a girl, you're a woman, whatever, you're not gonna understand what I'm talking about. Being a man is very straightforward. Like, do we sometimes feel multiple emotions at the same time? Yes. But men aren't simple creatures. I would say all humans are complex beings, but to understand a person's brain or the way they operate at base level is not very difficult as a man. Because, look, I wouldn't say I do whatever I want, but whatever I'm feeling, I just let that happen. So, Megan was, shit. Well, that's her name anyway. I was trying not to drop her name, but Megan was telling me, that she was like, for example, she said, something about coping skills. I got to add again, so I'm taking off the headphones. She was something about coping skills, and I said, I don't really have coping skills. I just kind of let me be me. Right? Like, she was saying that, going to the gym isn't really a healthy cope. And I said, well, how is that? She says, well, you're just kind of just avoiding the entire reason for why you're there. Like, if you're in the gym because you're sad, that's not really healthy coping mechanism, according to her. And I said, I don't really cope. I don't really do that. I said, I'm a very introspective person, and I'm a thinker. You know, I'm a complex thinker. It's kind of just who I am at this point. Because my father always tells me, he goes, oh, you think too much. You think about thinking. And I go, yes, I do. I don't overthink, I don't think that I overthink, but I think that I think a lot about things. Sorry if that was confusing. So like, I said to her, I said, if I'm feeling sad, I'll just feel sad. I'll just it depends on the reason why I'm feeling sad. If I'm feeling sad because of an event or something had transpired or something like that, if I'm feeling sad for a reason, I will let myself feel that, right? But if I'm sad for a reason that I do not explain, I cannot understand, right? That is strange. And at the very minimum, I would think about, well, why am I like this right now? I think that is normal. I think that is very normal, actually. But the difference here is, how do I explain this? Being a man is understanding that you will never understand all your emotions. That's just what it is. Because I even told my ex-girlfriend, I told her, I said, I understand what I'm feeling, right? Like me as myself. Me as my own being. But I said, there may be times where I will have difficulty articulating to you how I am feeling. Or my current mental state, right? And that's just, people say, oh, that's a form of low emotional intelligence. And I go, look, buddy, if that's what you want to call it, go right ahead. I don't care. I don't really think that low emotional intelligence is a real thing, right? I simply don't believe that that's a concept. Everyone has emotions and everyone knows their emotions, but sometimes people can't explain to you their emotions. Like, for example, I didn't talk about this at all yet, I don't think. But when my mother passed, there were a few days in that, like, a couple weeks ago, that I just, when I would get alone, I'd cry. I would cry. Especially, like, when I'd get alone before bed, I would cry. I would put on some sad music, and I'd think of my mom and what happened, and that, you know, this, that, and the third regarding my mother, and I would cry. Now, here's the thing, dude. She was telling me that it is okay for men to cry. And I told her, so the thing I said about my mother, she doesn't know about that. If she ever finds these videos, she'll know about that. But she said to me in an irrelated conversation that it's okay for men to cry. And I said, that's a trap. She said, well, what do you mean? I said, that's a trap for the man. I think she asked me another question, and I explained it further. And I said, what I'm telling you is, a lot of women say it's okay to cry, but if they're not prepared for you to be able to cry, right, you're just cooked. It's over. And this I do firmly believe. I firmly believe if, as a man, you show too much emotion too early in the relationship, it's over. It's over. She's going to leave you. Because she's going to, like, if you cry, I'm just, like, being so fucking for real. Because I'm not the only one who says this shit. There are women who say other women say this. So this shows me that it has to be true. Right? Unless everyone's fucking lying. But they were saying they've heard that, like, their girlfriends say that when they see a man crying too early or crying in a relationship, like about their mom or their dad or their pet died or they're just really... Now look, those three I gave you. I think it is acceptable to cry in those three circumstances. If your mom died, if your dad died, or your dog died, your pet, or somebody is dying, they're in the hospital, or somebody is, you have a very poor relationship with one of them, I think that it's okay to cry. That's when I think you can do that, as a man. Now, men are given so little reprieve from the day-to-day life. That's why I think you do deserve your moments. But if you cry all the time, you might be gay or something. And it's especially how women see it. Because women believe that, how do I explain this to you? You know how when you're a kid and you think of your dad as like Superman, right? Or Thor. Or Iron Man. You think of him as this like a superhero almost. And I know a lot of kids do this because I did this. I thought my dad was like the coolest fucking guy when I was a kid. I think he's still a great guy now, but I don't see him as literal Superman, right? Now, when I was a kid, I did think of him as Superman, or Thor, or Captain America, or Wolverine. I thought my dad was like some awesome, super strong man, right? And he is a super strong guy. He's an awesome guy, but I'm saying he's still just a man, right? My father does feel emotions. My father is a person that gets tired and he gets irritated and he gets angry because he's human, right? And I'm not saying to this degree, but I believe that from the female perspective, or the woman perspective, however you want to call it, okay? I'm not calling women, I'm not degrading women by saying female, okay? That's just how I degrade it. That's how I wage the stances sometimes. Anyhow, when you go and you say from the woman's perspective, I feel like a lot of them think their man is Superman, right? And once you stop being Superman and you start being just a man, that kind of gives them the ick. And I hate the term the ick gives me the ick, personally. But you know what I'm talking about. There's just so much that plays into that because, like I said, I don't think women do it to the degree that the son views the father, and the father-son relationship as a kid. I don't think they do it to that degree, but I think it's definitely there. Because, for an example, I know this is not all women when I say this. I know it's not, because my ex was kind of cuckoo bird, if you know what I'm talking about. But, I remember one day, I think either I was off and she was at work, or she was at work and I was off and she was at work, or I was at work and she was off. It was one or the other. I think she went to work and I was off. Something like that. And she sent me, because the only social media I had, she didn't have my phone number because I didn't have a phone number at the time. And she would just text me through Snapchat, right? So, she would do that. And one day she sent me a snap that was just a wall of text. Right? Like the whole fucking picture was text. And that how I'm a bad boyfriend because I didn't say goodnight to her before I went to bed. And I just wish that I could have, after this fuck ass day I had, I just wish I could have a boyfriend that would, be there for me and do this and that. And like, this was my first relationship, so I didn't realize how toxic this shit was. But she was like insulting me and saying this and that, and I was like, look, I'm sorry. I was doing some beta buck shit at the time because I just bent my knee. That would happen. That would stop bending the knee very soon after that. But you get my point. This woman wanted me to be Superman. She wanted me to never fuck up and never lose my time or get tired, or she wanted me to put her first always. Always. A lot of women do this, actually. I know for a fact a lot of women want them to be they want to be first in your life. A lot of women do. And This is why I also think a lot of women don't like Christians, because Christians know they will put God first before everything, right? Even themselves. So, for me, this is why this shit doesn't work a lot of the time. Because you have to figure, if you're putting God first, who's next? For me, it goes literally, it goes God, my dad, me, and then everything else, right? Because I know I need to do some things for my dad sometimes. And I want him to be able to come and confide in me and, help him do things, right? Like, he got a really dizzy spell the other day. I don't know what he did, but he was extremely dizzy and nauseous. And he was telling me that he needs to, I accidentally pulled the caulking out of the bathtub, like I did, like in the wall. And he was like, I have to recaulk that. And I was like, well, I could do it. I could probably do it. And he's like, no, don't worry about it. I got it. That's how I want to help my dad do things, because he's my dad. He's been providing for me my entire life. So I think it is only fair that I give back to my dad, right? I don't know what I'm going to title this video because it's all over the place. But I think a lot of women just don't like that. They just don't like that you have priorities before her. And that's why a lot of guys end up fucking shit up, because they put their woman on a pedestal. I've seen this happen so many times, guys. Don't fall for this shit. I've seen this happen where this guy he's gonna start dating this girlfriend, and then he's gonna do fucking everything with his girlfriend, and then he'll abandon his family and his friends. And then after they inevitably break up, he doesn't have friends anymore because they all moved on. And that's just the way it goes. I mean, I don't know what else to tell you. That's just how it fucking goes. That happens a lot. And I'm trying to think of what else I want to say in this video. There's so little reason, I think. There's so much controversy and reasons why people are like, nah, fuck this shit, I'm not dating, bro. Because the politics, the divisive politics is crazy. Like, I don't even care. I'm in a position where I don't even care that much about politics. I just vote for who I think is the better candidate. At the end of the day, I have no trust in parties or people. I have trust in God. Excuse me. I have trust in God to do the right thing. And if God wants this president to win, they're just gonna win. It's just what's gonna happen. But I feel like if the majority of young men are more either center or moderate right and beyond, I don't think there's a lot of far right dudes out there. Like, in the general populace, I don't think there's a lot of far right dudes. Like, you go at my job, pretty much most of the dudes at my job lean right. Like, my two male friends that are coworkers of mine they both lean right. They're both conservative or moderate conservative, or Republican, whatever. And every woman I've met, literally, except for my ex-girlfriend, was a feminist liberal. I'm being so for real. They were a feminist liberal. And I don't think that it's a huge deal, because they make politics out of everything. Like, you can probably figure out by who I am and the way I carry myself and how I talk about the world that I am a conservative. But you wouldn't be able to hear me. I don't talk about politics basically fucking ever. Like, I don't go, oh, did you hear what Donald Trump said on the TV this yesterday afternoon? Because he said this, and this should happen, and this is really good or really bad or whatever the fuck. I don't do that ever. I think it's honestly stupid, because he's just a guy like me. And, the vice president, just a guy. The president, just a guy. The fucking Speaker of the House, whoever that is just a person. They're just a human. They're not God. So whatever they say carries not a lot of weight for me most of the time. Anyhow. The divisive politics is what is a lot, I wouldn't say a lot. partially is what's killing dating. It's also this weird... We're in such a weird time where the average left-leaning person does not like masculinity. Okay, I'm going to get rid of this stupid video here. I have a video playing in the corner. I'm not even watching it. The average left-leaning person does not like masculinity. They hate masculinity as a concept. And where I'm seeing that is that the average woman, ask if you have a girlfriend, ask her this. And then this will tell you how she views you. If you have a sister, if you have any female coworkers or friends, ask them this question. Ask them how they feel about men who are, quote, a little feminine. Ask them. Because my best friend, who I name dropped on accident in this video, says she likes men who are a little feminine. What does that even mean? Or, quote, a little gay. And you look at me. There's nothing feminine about me at all. I'll be totally fucking honest with you, bro. Like, I'm literally a 20-year-old dude who can grow a full fucking beard at his age, and it looks pretty decent. There's a few spots there, but we're rocking the shorter cut lately. There's nothing feminine about me. Like, I think the majority of men don't have a feminine side. And like people, like I hate when things are like attributes or hobbies are considered feminine or masculine. Like a woman can like woodworking. You know, a man can like drawing. There's nothing feminine about drawing. I don't think so. Or there's nothing feminine about writing music. They say that the people who are creatively endowed, whatever, are more feminine than people who aren't. I would just say that you have more creativity than people who don't, obviously. Like if you play music, you play guitar, or you play an instrument, you like to draw, you like to make art, you like to paint, you're more creative. You're just a more creative person. It's not feminine. But anyway, she was saying that she likes men who are more feminine. And you look at what these women like, women don't like bodybuilders. Women don't like boxers. Women don't like think of an action hero. Okay? Think of an action hero that you like from movies or video games or whatever. Women don't like that character. They don't like him. Women like men who have dynamics. Women like men who have a masculine and a feminine side. Feminine. Okay? So, to me, I don't understand how being a normal guy is feminine. Or how they say they like soft guys. They like quiet guys. Now, am I a loud person? When I'm at work, yes, because I'm at work having fun sometimes. It happens very rarely anymore. But sometimes I do get animated because I'm enjoying a conversation or a topic or whatever. But I don't think if you think being masculine is being loud and fucking lifting weights all the time and I'm a big strong fucking man, like no, that's not masculinity. I think masculinity is principles and not characteristics. That's what I think masculinity is. I think if you're a man who is, observant of other people and you remain vigilant for possible threat, or you are a provider, or you lead, or you watch out for others first, those are masculine characteristics, I think. Or a person who is a logistician or something like that. Or a person who is a diplomat, those are masculine traits. Or a person who is, that kind of stuff. And then if you're feminine, that's stuff like listening, which I don't consider these things feminine. I really don't. But like if you're a guy who knows how to you know how to speak in the proper tone at the right time, or how to pay attention to how someone's feeling, and how to interact with that, and or if you know how to do something that somebody will like give them a proper gift, or be thoughtful, or that those are feminine traits, which is weird to me because these are just things that humans do. I don't think these are gendered things. I honestly don't. I don't understand how we got there. But we are. This is where we are. We consider these things feminine. Like, a lot of women consider men who wear glasses like kind of feminine. At least I think so. Because so this girl I'm talking to, like I told you earlier in the video, she had to hear me out. Like, oh, hear me out. This character is a baddie. The first one was the green M&M, which everyone clowned on. I'm so sorry. But the second one was Milo from the Disney movie Atlantis. And if you don't know what this character looks like, he's a very thin white male with round glasses and curtains, like the middle part curtains, like that or whatever, but longer. And I would not say that this character is feminine by design, but I would say the character is kind of drawn from the female perspective, right? Like, women don't really care about big muscle guys. They care about other things. They care about how you act, right? And then men think from the male gaze that being big and strong is cool. And women I wouldn't say they could care less, but it's like not top priority at all. And I think his name's Milo in that movie anyway. Could be wrong, but you know who I'm talking about if you look up the characters from Atlantis. So I think, because like I said, there's like 2,000 reasons why anybody could be struggling in the dating market in the current age. Because I hear all the time. My one friend has had the same amount of girlfriends I have ever had. And he's like 2 years younger than me, 3 years younger than me. Because a lot of people just date to date. I don't do that. If I don't see myself with a girl or a woman, whatever you want to say, for at least a while, I won't date her. I see no point. It seems pointless to me. Why would you do it? Because I'm not a person who likes hookups or the idea of hookups. I just don't like them. I think that's kind of gross, actually. But anyway, man, that's some good coffee. But the main thing now is hookups. Like, people don't really pursue a long-term thing anymore. They kind of pursue the short-term thing first, and if they like the short-term thing enough, they'll keep it long-term. And that just doesn't make any damn sense to me. So I gotta figure out what to title this video, because it's all over the place. Probably just be like a rant video or whatever. It's very weird. Because like I said, when you think of a masculine character, right? When I do, like an actually masculine character, not just a buff character. So like The Rock is off the list. I don't like him anyway. But when I think of a character who does embody masculinity in the many frames and approaches to masculinity, I think of like Indiana Jones. Because you look at Indiana Jones, and he's also just a regular guy. He's just an archaeologist. He's just a guy that's main job is he digs holes, essentially. And he looks for artifacts and relics, right? And he's a college professor. He's a guy that his main thing he does is he wears a suit every day. He wears a suit and a tie, and he wears glasses. And he has to style his hair properly to look presentable. But then he's also this badass adventurer who carries a revolver, and he wears a hat, this awesome hat, and he wears brown leather, and he swings from a whip, and he does all this cool shit, right? So what I'm saying to you is, this character kind of always appealed to women. Even in the movie, he appeals to women. He appeals to women who are even younger than him, because he's in his 40s, and you're thinking in a college class, he's like 38 or whatever. In a college class, the people are going to be like 20, 21, 22. So these women are fawning over this Dr. Jones character. And it's funny because I think Indiana Jones is actually like a very good example of masculinity, because he has this dynamic, like I said, where he's Professor Jones and he's like adventurer Indiana Jones, right? He's like two different characters. He's like a pulp action hero and a college professor, and he has two sides of the same character, right? Now he does use part of his existence on the college side, the teacher side, in solving mystery, because he is a professor. He's a smart guy. So when you think about how this character exists and the dynamic he has, that's kind of what women like. Women like when you can play both sides. You can be the big strong guy, but you can also be the guy who knows how to, teach them something, or to, hold their hand while they're walking down the street. You don't want to be too nonchalant, but you don't want to be too, involved, right? Because you do in private. Here's the other thing, because I saw the picture of Gambit and Rogue, where Gambit is, like leg locking Rogue from Marvel Rivals, and people were saying men don't yearn like this anymore. Incorrect. Men do yearn for women, especially their partner long term. But the difference is, we ain't gonna do that in public. Let's keep it a stack, bro. It ain't gonna happen in public. I've never seen a man all over his woman in public. I've never seen it. You know why? Because one, it's not the time or the place. Two, if they're with their friends, they're gonna call him a big softy, or he's gay, or whatever the fuck. You know what I mean. And all that stuff, right? So you gotta figure, the man will do these things behind closed doors. And if you say that men don't yearn anymore, they're just not yearning for you, right? Like, my ex-girlfriend did yearn for me, and I did yearn for her. When we were together, I wanted to see her a lot, and she wanted to see me a lot. I saw her once a week. I saw her. Sorry, I went to the wrong side. I saw her once a week at her house, and I saw her multiple days a week at my job. And even then, for her, that wasn't enough. She wanted me to sleep over. She wanted me to come over on both my days off, right? And she got mad because I said, well, I need some time to myself sometimes. And she said, what, do you need a break from me or something? I said, actually, yeah, sometimes I do need a break from you. Women don't want to hear stuff like that, but it's just true. It's just true. From your masculine frame, sometimes you need some time alone. And I think that's fucking normal. Women act like that if you say that, not all women, but some of them, act like if you say that, you just don't like them anymore or something. And it's like, no, I just need some time to myself. I just need some time to go walk in the woods, or play a video game for a little bit, or watch a movie that I like. I just need some time alone sometimes, every once in a while. And if your woman ever tries to take that from you, get them out of here. Get them out of here. Because I call that like space invasion, personally. Because I have my own space and you have your own space. But your own space is supposed to be over there, and you do stuff with your friends, and I'm supposed to be over here with my space, and I do my stuff with my friends over there. Okay, you know what I'm saying? Like, so when we're not together, you have stuff to do. So, like, that's another thing. If your girlfriend or your girl you're talking to doesn't have friends, get her some friends that aren't your friends, okay? Because you need to have your own time, and she needs to have her own time, okay? Because when I was with my ex-girlfriend, she didn't have any friends really, and I didn't have any friends really. I just had friends I'd play video games with online. I don't really count those as real friends because you don't see each other ever. But there's another thing, is that people don't have as many friends as they used to. So when you do start dating, you guys are just joined at the hip. And that's also not good either, because you get sick of each other. Because you see each other 24/7, 365 way too early on in the relationship. I don't know enough about you to know what to talk about. Because when you're married, you're supposed to know your spouse. You're supposed to know them by now, because you've been together for 5, 6, 7 years. Okay, so like, you should have it figured out by this point. Anyway, I'm going to watch Raiders of the Lost Ark and eat my breakfast. So, thanks for watching. I'll figure out what to title this after I upload it. Bye-bye.